I'm here today with our guest on AI Loves PR, Kevin Dulaney. Kevin is the Executive Vice President, Global Head of Innovation and Integrated Marketing. Kevin, that title kind of sounds like you do it all. Is that what's really going on?
I mean, for the last 20 years, I've kind of spent my life in this brackish area between marketing and innovation. And we finally come to a point in time when it comes to marketing and comms and where those two worlds are colliding. AI has had such a huge impact on our industry that finally my unicorn of a position actually makes sense. So while it may sound like I'm doing everything, I'm just doing what I've always done.
That's cool. So let's dig in on where AI is when it comes to PR. What do you think is the biggest opportunity for PR right now?
I think the biggest opportunity is telling authentic stories that's not just noise. For the last 3 years, as generative AI has become more and more prevalent, there's been so much marketing content generated that's just AI slop. It's garbage. Getting out there and telling true brand centered stories that resonate and are not AI generated, but are actually tied back to the brand and connecting brands back to audiences. I think that's the biggest opportunity because we have the ability as storytellers to tell an authentic story that AI is just not going to be able to do.
Wow, I feel like this proliferation of AI generated content is just starting. And my question is, who's going to consume all this content? I mean, it's going to get ridiculous.
The answer is AI is going to consume the AI generated content. When we look at GEO, AEO, whatever we want to call it these days, you have these AI generated search results. So they are going out and consuming it, and we are no longer looking down into what page of the search we're on because most people are reading that AI generated content, that search, that generated experience at the very top of the page. So being in that zero position is kind of the best place to be these days.
Yeah, it feels like we're very early in it, though, because I've been hearing CCOs and CMOs say for a couple of years, oh, yeah, I have someone on my team check to see what happens when we ask the LLMs a question about our brand or our company. And then people say, then what do you do? Like, we don't know what to do. I think we're starting to really learn what to do, right?
Yeah, and as the LLMs kind of mature, as they are starting to ingest more information, as more information becomes available, we're going to start to figure out the algorithm in the same way that we figured out the Google algorithm for SEO.
Right.
And Google seems to want to change that every year. So even those strategies are not 100%, but the strategy that PR agencies and brands can take is just continue to create content that's connected to your audience. Be providing those answers that they need, and they're going to find you. Whether it's the search engine, whether it's an LLM, whether it's an audience, they're going to find you if you're answering the questions that your audience is looking for. And you're
Well,
solving
that's the
your
key,
problem.
right? You have to really
Absolutely.
understand the questions and present your information that way.
Right, absolutely. The days of keyword searching are kind of done. I mean, if you think about it, I don't want to say the name of my home smart device because it'll try to talk to me. But when I ask it a question, I don't put those keywords in there. No, I ask it legitimate questions as if I'm talking to my colleague or I'm talking to a friend or I'm talking to a neighbor. And that's the way we have to start thinking when we start solving the problems for our audiences. How are they going to find my brand? Asking simple questions to a home device or to a search engine.
That's cool. What other advice would you give brand marketers as they think about the onslaught of AI?
Know where your audience is, know who your audience is, know where they are, and be there. Because we can't be, as much as we can try, we can't be everywhere at all times to everyone. So we have to understand who our audience is. Where are they consuming their media? Where are they doing their research? What is important to them? What are the problems that they're trying to solve? And how does your product or your brand solve that problem for them? Is it a technical thing or is it a cultural thing? And what is the motivation for them to find you? Once you understand that, you can start developing what your communication strategy is to get to that person.
That's cool.
Sounds a lot like PR. I mean, like what we've always
I
done.
think that's the key. How are your colleagues at the agency adopting AI? Is it a pretty steady advance? Is it different by level?
It's not. It's everybody trying to figure out what's important to them. You're going to have some people that are fanatical, they're first adopters, they're on that bleeding edge. They want to see what it looks like to create an animated video completely out of generative AI. And you have some people that are, I just needed to check my email for grammar and spelling mistakes. So it's kind of all over the place,
Yeah.
but that's the beautiful thing about it. We all have this choose our own destiny and choose our own adventure of how we want to use it and how it's going to make our lives easier. I tell the staff, be creative, be playful, jump in there, figure out, what it is that's going to excite you, because it may not be something that's exciting to you right now, but it's better to understand the technology than to get 3 months down and need to use it and you don't know how.
Yeah. Somebody was joking in a recent meeting that AI does brilliant weekly meal planning. And oh, I don't want everybody doing that in my agency. Well, it might be okay because I think trying it out on lots of different things, you learn to make that connection to productive work ways you can use it, right?
Right. Even this example of your meal planning, I do that as well. I tell it, help me figure out my meals for the week, build my grocery list, and then sort it by which aisle I'm going to be shopping
I
in. And
love
then it
that.
gives me this nice little list. But at the same time, if I'm able to give it my calendar for the week and say, here are the things that have the highest priority, help me build out a way to fit this 60 hours worth of work into 35. And it can help me break those chunks down. So even though it may not be apples to apples, it still is taking the knowledge that you learn from a technology and apply it to something that's real world that's going to help you out in your day to day.
Uh-oh, I bet you get a lot of messages asking you, how do you take 60 hours into 35? How do you do that with AI?
AI hasn't figured out how to do that yet, but once I
Hashtag
figure it out,
dreams.
yeah, I will be a very rich SaaS entrepreneur if I can figure that out.
Good luck on that one. What are some of your favorite ways to use the LLMs? And I have to know, what is your preferred LLM?
I use them all. I believe that each one of them have a different expertise and a different output that they give. So depending on what I'm trying to achieve, I'll use a different one. As far as my favorite use for it, that's tough.
Maybe this week's favorite use.
This week, wow, it's getting ideas. I will put in the characteristics of someone that I'm speaking to, and it may be a difficult conversation that I'm having. And I'll go back and forth with it and say, is this a message that would resonate with this person? Yes or no? Read this email. Is it too sarcastic? Is it too playful? Is it too professional? And help me understand where I can change my messaging. I mean, it reminds me, we built this tool a while back called the Cringe-O-Meter. And we noticed, or at least I noticed, that a lot of our press releases as an industry are really kind of cringy. Not everything is earth shattering or groundbreaking or a one of a kind experience, but we like to use that terminology. And what happens is we use it so often and so frequently that our audiences just start to shove it out. They close it off and they're like, okay, it's just another feature. You're not offering anything special. So we built this tool called the Cringe-O-Meter, and what it does is you can run any piece of content through it, and it gives you a score. And it's very snarky, and it's based off some of my humor, and it gives you a score of how cringy this is. And then we were talking about this in our internal AI team of how funny it would be if we ran every press release through it. So we now have an AI that goes and grabs the press releases off the wire and it runs every single one of them through. We've ran close to 10,000 now, different press releases through, and we're able to tell you by category and by industry which industry uses the most superlatives, who has the worst grammar, who has the worst
Oh,
typos.
wow.
We're able to analyze it, every single press release, and pull it out. And we run a quarterly report to show which industries are the cringiest. We never would mention a brand, but we can tell you what industry they're in.
So is that a public report?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's on our website. You can find it.
I'm gonna go find it. And
Yeah,
so is that a custom GPT or what was the format for that?
it's an agentic AI plus a custom GPT. The one that's publicly, anyone can use it. It's free. It's on our website to run your content through it. We don't track anything. We don't use it. So there's no data privacy issues unless, I mean, it goes straight over to OpenAI. But we've had over 1,000 people use it, individual users. And it's a fun tool. Yeah. It'll give you editorial recommendations of how to make it less cringy.
That's cool. That's really great. I mean, you know what? The business has been hard for the last few years, but I think this is such an exciting moment and super exciting for our discipline. I'd be a little nervous if I were in other marketing disciplines, but it feels like this is our moment.
Absolutely. And it's starting to do what we've always talked about, right? We're starting to be less about traditional PR and starting to be more integrated communications.
Yeah.
People are starting to understand how important communication is in some of the other channels, whether that's social media like Reddit, because now you have to have a platform in Reddit, how it's impacting influencers, how it's impacting your paid channels. We're starting to see the holistic picture, and Earned is starting to get that spotlight that it's always deserved. I'm super excited about it. And my colleagues that are in other marketing professions and other disciplines, they're excited about it too. But they're also now asking questions about how to do Earn better. So it's
Yeah.
this opportunity again for us to shine because we finally have gotten to that point where the spotlight is now on Earned and innovation. It's a fun place to be. And I think the next few years are going to be really exciting.
It's also super fun because, you know, the earn that the LLMs have access to is very different from the top tier earned placements that sometimes our clients are exclusively focused on. So really being able to broaden that aperture and bring your clients a very sophisticated media plan that has media earned placements serving different purposes is really cool.
Earned media is kind of in this fractured point, right? We're now seeing a media 2 or 3.0, which is where we're not just talking about, traditional digital publications, because those same people who are influencing at that digital publication, they have a Substack, they have a newsletter, they have a podcast, they have a subreddit. They're on multiple channels, and we need to make sure that as we're doing these media relations, we're understanding which channel and which platform that they're using is going to have the biggest impact for our brands.
It's cool. It's a gigantic opportunity, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. And like I said, there was a lot of talk about when we started seeing reporters getting laid off, we started seeing, publications shutting down or reformatting or doing mergers, how a lot of people were calling for the death of Earned. And we've had a revitalization, we've had a rebirth. And now I feel like we're in the era of Earned, which is exciting to see.
Yeah, it totally is. All right. What's one piece of advice for someone who's very new to using AI? Where do you start?
Jump,
Email plan?
just
Just
pick
do
the
it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I keep a database of every AI tool I've tested. And I think my database is currently at 300 plus.
Wow.
And there are some real winners out there, and there are some that I'm like, I will probably never use that tool again. But just get out there, be creative. Think about something that you wish there was an AI that would do this, and then just search for it, whether that's TikTok, YouTube, or Google. Just jump out there and find out that information. I guarantee you there is somewhere. There's also tons of, Substacks out there, and there's tons of Reddit forums, and there's tons of, you know, communities out there that are sharing this information openly. And it's exciting to see. And like I would say, just be out there, dream about the thing that you want to get to, and then start working backwards to learn the skills that you need to get to that point.
Good advice. This can be a replacement for the evening doom scrolling, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you ever wanted to start a side hustle, or, this is the opportunity to do it, because there's tons of things that you can do out there.
Yeah, it's cool. All right, Kevin, thank you so much. Really appreciate your insights. Good luck out there. We'll be watching what you're doing.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.